my goodness. Smalls Noodle. The first ever Minecraft Let's Play on the Ryan Sear 2 channel. Just kidding. I did one back in like 2020, I think.
Nah,
Well, so
it's
glad
fine.
you could all join us.
No, now I'm here, so it's better.
Yes. I also did a little bit of Minecrafting on my Twitch, but I haven't gone to my Twitch in quite a while.
Yeah, you've not gone on there. You have shut that down. You
Should
put
Ryan
it
Sierra go
down.
back to Twitch? Leave a comment down below, kiddies. Alright guys, so this is going to be called the Minecraft Winter Challenge. This is where I will do my best to, in a wintry biome, try and survive as things left and right proceed to kill me, like this bunny, because it's got red eyes, so it's clearly bloodthirsty, and it's the bunny from Monty Python. So, speaking of Monty Python and speaking of shows, Smells Noodle, we watched a show last night. Tell us about it.
It is called Hunters. It is that basically fuck Nazis.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I mean, it's amazing. It shows them just, I mean, as just total cartoon villains. But what's funny about it is, to me, the first episode kind of came off almost like a superhero show of sorts. Like like if not Spider-Man, then certainly like just a general like superhero narrative, because you have cartoonishly evil villains, and then you've got the actor who was something Lerman, who was in Logan Lerman, who was in Percy Jackson, and he has a similar. I mean, is it offensive to say that like the way his grandma went out was a lot like Uncle Ben from Spider-Man?
Sort of, yeah. Like, it was like a Spider-Man-esque like origin story.
Yeah, yeah. So, tell us about it.
Well, I mean, his grandma gets killed, and he starts hunting Nazis in like revenge to find the one that killed her.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because it's kind of like a Mr. Robot sort of feel in the beginning, because it's about like this down on his luck guy who meets like this older man who's just as spurned about the situation of things as the down on his luck young male. It's akin to like the Robbie Malek and Christian Slater in a Mr. Robot in that sense. We just watched the first episode last night. My impressions of it, you know, are that it's interesting because I don't think it moved too fast. I don't think it moved too fast, but I think you'd be forgiven for thinking that it moved too fast because it was a 30-minute episode in an era
so
of like hour-long like streaming things, right? Like so many episodes now for shows and streaming services are like an hour-long episodes. I thought the intro was cool. I thought it was very in tandem with how intros have been though. Like, cause I see similar intros in in like Medici, I think. Doesn't that Medici have the thing where it's like chess pieces and kind of figures falling around as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's more gold, I think, with Medici, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And also generally the episode felt to me like, or the show felt to me initially like an Amazon show, rather than a like a, what was it? Netflix, Hulu?
It was Amazon.
Wait, it was Amazon?
Yeah, it was Amazon.
I had no idea. You didn't. It didn't look like you pulled up Prime. It looked like you pulled up like Hulu or something.
Yeah.
Well, that explains it then, because that show, that is an Amazon show. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, man, I tell you, in the future, when like Bezos and all that crap finally gets caught for like workers peeing in bottles and like worker strikes and shit, like they're just gonna have to default on being like a cinematography kind of like company, like a Blockbuster or something, because they do be pumping out like some really interesting like Amazon originals, like. So.
Yeah, like it's a interesting. I recommend like watching it, because quite literally, there's not a lot you can say about it without giving away spoilers and such. And there's not like a huge premise other than his grandma dies, he joins a group that's hunting and killing Nazis in the United States, and he's trying to find the one that killed his grandma.
Could have been a movie, but I agree with you that books make better shows. I think shows are better than movies because you have more time to spend with the characters. So
Yeah, I think Shadow. And you mean the Shadowhunter series, right? With
oh
Cassandra
no,
Clare?
the Shadow and Bone with like
Oh,
Alima or whatever her name is.
so no, I think that should be a TV show. I think though it should be like an HBO show. I don't think it should have been produced by Netflix.
Oh,
Just because I
interesting.
think HBO can handle fantasy better.
Oh, okay.
I think HBO or Prime should have been the people who produced it. I think Netflix is better for like historical fiction.
Mhm.
I think they're better for kind of like actiony type of stuff. Um, I don't think it should have been produced by Netflix because I I just think HBO or Prime could have handled it better. Um, so
Okay.
I do think Shadow and Bone should stay a TV show because it also depends on the series, right? Like if there's a lot of lore going on, because Shadow and Bone, because we watched it and it was okay. I'd give it like a 6. Like I think season 2 will be better. I think they kind of learned from their mistakes a little bit, what looks like in the trailer.
Mhm.
Um, Shadow and Bone has a lot of lore thrown at you. Like the first episode, you get, hey, so a dude created a fucking dark passage, and that's why you need like a light bringer to light the way, because if you don't, these fucking demons from hell are gonna try to kill you on a passage to and from the north.
Apparently, yeah.
And then you have like these characters who are orphans, and then you have a lot of lore and a lot of fucking people just thrown at you in the very first episode. I
Mhm.
don't think that would have worked movie wise because it would have been even worse if it was a movie. I think because they would have condensed it, they would have thrown even more at you. So I do think Shadow and Bone should stay a TV series. Something like Shadowhunters should have stayed a movie.
Okay.
I don't think it should have been a TV show.
Yeah, I didn't
I think it
like that
should have.
TV show. No.
Yeah, I think it should have stayed a movie because what you can do is then make it like 2 hours, 2 hours 30 minutes, and kind of you may have more films that you have to make, but at least you could have the first movie be like 2.5 hours, and then every movie after that is like maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours. I don't think it should have been a TV show, and even if it was a TV show, I think it could have been a limited series TV show where it's like 8 to 6 episodes, or 6 to 8 episodes. Uh,
Yeah, that's kind
just
of the
be,
famous runtime these days because the episodes are an hour long. So yeah.
well, if it's limited, they can do the hour. They can make it longer just because I think what then they could have done is they could have done a limited series, um, then transcribed it to the movie screen, where then you could have shown like Jace's parents, the Harrenhal people or whatever, dive into the lore, or do that sort of thing. Or like you have a movie of the prequel people, you have the limited series going on of the main people, and then kind of have it where like Stars did this with they did it was the White Queen, and then it was the White Princess, following Henry VI's marriage to Elizabeth of York, and then it was the Spanish Princess
Spanish
following
princess.
Catherine of Aragon marrying Henry VIII. Like they kind of did that where each of them was a limited series, but they were following somebody.
Mhm.
And so what they could have done is they could have done a limited series of the prequel, then done a limited series with the main people, and did like a third limited series of like 10, 15 years later, where like Alec marries Magnus and they adopt a child, and and it kind of,
Well, I'll be dipped.
like
Alrighty, the episode's about I'm about to end this episode, this part. Oh.
But
All I've done is harvested just like a ton of like materials over here. I'm gonna try to turn these snowballs into Schnee squares and Schnee blocken. And the goal for the next part when we return is going to be really building out over somewhere where we can get some water and build a nice little fortress. Because what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to put the dirt like over the ice. So, oh yeah, come over here, come on, you can't. And then that skeleton over there, that dude looks scary. But one thing for sure, being in the early development stages of this file right now, is like I'm just looking to, like this is blocks and then materials and then weapons, and then this is blocks and then this is going to be materials, and then this is going to be materials and then blocks and blocks. The spider's hitting himself trying to get to me. But now we're going to go, and really, obviously in the beginning here, we're just going to keep on mining the underground until we really hit some interesting ore or find more huge building blocks to spread out our house, which is going to be comprised mainly of, right now it's going to be cobblestone walls and andesite, whatever the gray one is. And, yeah, well, small stoodle. What other stuff you want to rant about before the time runs out?
But, anyways, so all of the claims that we, talked about, they've been talked about before. A lot of booktubers have it. We do, allegedly, so we don't get sued. But, like, it's been talked about. There's been articles about this. It's nothing new. It's not a new, allegation against Cassandra Clare. It's not a new allegation even against Stephenie Meyer. People have been talking about this for years. Which, is its own thing. And I think it's interesting when you come out with a series and stuff. And it's just full of stolen work and weird concepts that you don't need to write. You don't need to. And I don't understand what it is with white women authors and writing incest as a random plot device.
These people got to make like a writers guild. It's like the champions of incest.
Exactly. Like I could not understand. I cannot understand it.
Lamau.
But no, I think also an interesting thing is that I think we need to have more TV shows of book series, especially if it's more than 3 books. I definitely think you should go into series. Because even 3 books, like, there's a lot to cover in there that you may not get to in one season.
Mm-hmm.
You may need about 6 seasons to get through 3 books. Sometimes it happens. Especially if you run on 10 episodes. Or, that's when you start to do 13, 18 episode type of deals. Just because you have a lot depending on how big your book is and how many storylines, But, some can go into movies. I think it would have been interesting to see Lord of the Rings as a TV show instead of a movie. Because sometimes it felt rushed and condensed in some parts. I think The Hobbit. I liked The Hobbit movies. Controversial point.
Yeah.
Apparently. I liked them. A lot of people I know like them. Some people just like to hate on it because, it gets them views, clicks, engagement.
Oh. Snap your fingers in a Z formation.
I mean, that's why a lot of people hate on video things because, you know, it brings them money. It brings them money to hate on things that other people enjoy. Especially if you're a teenage girl and you enjoy something, then men really like to hate on it. Don't understand that.